Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about creating custom GPTs inside of ChatGPT. So what is a custom GPT? What is the point? These are tools within ChatGPT that you can essentially create your own chatbot that will follow your instructions using your materials that you provide that will behave within a set of rules or boundaries that you provide. So to get started, when we come to the homepage here, we're going to come down on the left-hand side and click on GPTs. You'll see that there's this marketplace page. Currently, we only have access to GPTs within the workspace, but we're going to come up here to the top right and click on Create. You'll see that there's a split screen here. We have a Create tab on the left and a Configure tab on the right-hand side. And then we also have a preview of our chat over here. So the Create, this essentially just allows you to create your chatbot using natural language, but we're going to focus today on the Configure tab because we want to set very granular instructions. So I created some mock materials. We're going to call this Roman Empire Helper. This is going to be a study assistant for a college level history class. And then this is the box that it's really going to be important here. So this is where we can set and define very specific instructions. So I'm going to click on this little expand button here. And we are going to start in with, I already prepared some of these ahead of time, but we're going to first tell it what it can do. So it should help students by explaining historical concepts, events, and timelines in clear, simple language, answering factual questions based on the course notes. So this is important. We're saying you should only be using these course notes. Clarifying information in the syllabus, which we'll upload, such as grading, assessments, and policies, explaining assignment expectations using the rubric, and helping students review for quizzes and exams, and rephrasing info to support understanding. Now, what is important is to also say, these are the things that you should not do, because we don't want to just give this free rein, where students say, tell me about the Roman Empire, and then it's pulling all of this different information from across the internet. We want it to be very, very specific to the materials we provide. So we're going to say you should not write essays or long written assignments for students. You should not complete graded work, exams, or take-home assessments if these are uploaded. You should not generate thesis statements or submission-ready responses. Should not invent information not found in the course materials. So this keeps it very focused on only the materials uploaded. And you should not go beyond the historical scope covered in the materials. So let's say a student comes in and asks about maybe their syllabus for a biology course or something like that that's not actually provided. We want to basically give it the ability to redirect questions it doesn't have information on. So here we can say if a student asks for something you're not allowed to do, politely explain that you cannot help with that request and redirect them to an allowed form of help, such as reviewing concepts or explaining expectations. We really want to reinforce this idea that if it's not included, we do not want the GPT to speak to it. So we're going to add an instruction. If you cannot find the answer in the provided materials, please say, I don't see that information in the course materials provided. We can set tone. So if we want it to be maybe a kind GPT, we can say friendly, supportive, and respectful, clear and straightforward, appropriate for undergraduate students, and not overly technical unless the student asks. Then we can define our teaching approach. So here we can say focus on understanding rather than memorization, use concise explanations, offer examples when helpful, so this can reference back to the material, and encourage students to check their understanding against course materials. So this is quite extensive, but this gives us a very clear and direct approach for the GPT to ensure that we have guardrails. So once this is done, we're going to click on Close. Here we can add conversation starters. So this is examples for the user to start the conversation. We're going to skip this for now. We can come in and add knowledge files. So this is the information that we're actually going to be referencing. So here I just generated some example content. So we just have some basic notes on the Roman Empire. I also have a sample syllabus, and then we have a sample rubric as well. So we're going to come down here to upload files, click on this, we'll grab all three of these, click open, and this is going to upload our PDFs. one more note I want to highlight here. Information input into this is not used to train ChatGPT models. So you are able to input course materials and this sort of thing and not have to worry about the data security behind it. We don't have to worry too much about the recommended model. You can choose this if you'd like, but I'm just going to leave this as no recommended model for now. I'm going to turn off image generation, canvas, and web search. I want this to be just proprietary to the info provided here. All right, once this is all set up, we can add an image to our GPT if we want to differentiate in the sidebar. I'm going to skip that for now. We'll go ahead and we'll click Create in the top right. It will ask, what are your sharing settings? What do you want this to be? This is set to invite only currently, so you can generate a link and share this link out with students. We'll say update here, and then this is going to get added to our workspace. All right, so we're going to come in, click on View GPT, and let's maybe ask it a couple questions. So first, maybe we'll ask it, who was Augustus? So here it's going to go back. It's going to reference the document that we gave it. So it says Augustus was the first emperor of Rome and the founder of the Roman Empire. We can come back in here and see it pulled directly from here. He was the first emperor of Rome. We can also maybe ask, how am I graded in this course? If we were to ask this question to just the regular good old ChatGPT, it would ask us clarifying questions of, well, what is the course? We're not really sure what you're talking about. But because this has been provided, it's going to say you are graded based on 4 main assessments as outlined in the course syllabus. So it's referencing that syllabus. If we go back to our syllabus here, we'll see we have defined, we have our weekly reading quizzes are 20%, midterm 25%, final exam 30%, and short analysis 25%, which we have reflected here. Weekly reading 20%, midterm 25%, final exam 30%, short analysis 25%. One other note, you'll see that now GPTs is in a drop down on the left-hand side. You can come in here, you can hide this from the sidebar, and it will just come back up here. So when you click on it, you'll always see this marketplace first, but you can come into My GPTs. You can see a list of your GPTs here, in which you can come in and you can actually edit it. So maybe I want to change some of my instructions after it's already created. We can make those changes here. Maybe I want to add documents to the knowledge base. So this can be built as time goes on. And then we come up, we click update, and then this will update for all users who are looking to access this. Thanks for taking the time to learn custom GPTs.